Thank you very much.
Sadi, good evening, good morning, good afternoon to all the wonder people of the world. I am personified gratitude personified for being a part of this event, and I would like to say my heartfelt thank you to Dr. Haider Shah for introducing me with a wonderful, amazing, um, and heartwarming introduction.
Thank you very much.
So,
Thank you very much once again. And just a soft reminder to the audience that Prof will be presenting and he would leave time for question answer session at the end of the session. So if you have any question, please write in comment section or you can email us at info@carvas.com. So over to you, Prof. Thank you.
all right. Thank you once again, Dr. Haider Shah. So, from the ancient city Siam, uh, Bangkok, the land of amazing smiles, I would like to greet you once again with good evening, good morning, good day, and peace to all of you, ladies and gentlemen. As it was mentioned by Dr. Haider Shah, that I am the faculty member of the College of Education of Kasetsart University in Bangkok, Thailand. I am so much passionate and humble enough to share to you my knowledge about the subject matter that was requested to me to share to you. That is on upskilling and reskilling of research mentors in the global context. So we are not only confined with our researchers in our own respective institutions or in our own university, but we are sharing each each other's knowledge, particularly on I'm going to share to you this evening the upskilling and reskilling of research mentors in the global context. So the scope is wider. Actually, this topic is a product of my experience as a researcher and an organizational leader, wherein with the different activities that we have conducted, conferences, teaching demonstrations, conducting researches, international collaboration with other researchers, then I come up with the knowledge on how are we going to upgrade the skills as well as the knowledge of our own research mentors. So allow me then to start by taking a look at the content of my presentation. First and foremost, I will give a short background or rationale of my presentation, just getting to know each other, and then I will explore on the differences of reskilling and upskilling. Sometimes you might have interchanged these two terms, or we may mean that reskilling and upskilling are the same and one thing. But through this presentation, we will see the difference. And then I will move on with the reasons why there is really a need for reskilling and upskilling. Why is it necessary to upskill and reskill our research mentors? The next thing, after knowing the reasons why we need to reskill and upskill, the question is how? Okay. How are we going to reskill and upskill our research mentors? And from this, I'm going to give my final note or conclusion regarding this presentation. We are here, ladies and gentlemen, because I assume that all of us love research. So could you please say, I love research? All of us, in our mind, you say, I love research. No one is, or nothing is special rather than being a lover of research. We do love to discover something. We do love to contribute something new. We love to share a new knowledge to our own specific discipline, because you as a researcher should bear in mind that what can you contribute to your own body of discipline if you do not involve yourselves in research, and at the same time you're not going to discover something that is beneficial to your own family. I mean, I'm referring to in here the discipline wherein you belong. For example, if you are in the field of business administration, if you just simply working as a plain teacher and do not um, enhance your research capability, then your profession would become is rather different. But if you enhance your potential, not only being as an educator in your own specific discipline, but to discover something for the benefit of humanity, particularly into your own discipline, then that would be the best thing that we can do. Because in research, there is this what we call marriage of the heart, the mind, and the hands. So while we are passionate about knowing things, we in research we must have to look into the theoretical underpinnings, but we need to do it wholeheartedly and devotedly, so that our output would become an excellent one, which is for the advantage of our own respective clientele. That is why in research, if we do research, there is this what we call tripartite aspect in it, wherein we use our head, we use our hand, and then of course our heart. So in research, we do it by heart, by mind, and by means of our own technical know-how or our own hands. So looking at this scenario then, the upskilling and reskilling could be boiled into the relationship of these three A's, which is the heart, the head, and the hands. So you need to reskill, you need to upskill, not only your own knowledge about something, but also your know-how, the skills in carrying out the job of being a research mentor, a research leader, a research manager, or as a researcher, himself or herself. And with this one, you upskill your own knowledge and the technical aspects of researching, you need also to reskill and upskill your own heart. That is how passionate you are in doing research. How are you going to deal with those other individuals in conducting research? For example, your own respondents or participants. So you must have the heart, you must have the ability to approach them nicely. And how to do that? Probably before think of that as time keeps on moving, as years keeps on moving, then our relationship between and among others also changes, because the mood of the environment and the trends that we have in our society also dictates our own nature of dealing with others. Okay, so moving on, let's proceed with the understanding of upskilling and reskilling. So we will try to distinguish or differentiate upskilling from that of reskilling. First thing to note is that when we speak about upskilling, we mean to refer to the process of learning new skills new skills or of teaching workers new skills. So, as we are passionate about learning new skills or new knowledge, it is the duty and responsibility of the institution to introduce or to give opportunities to these workers to upgrade themselves, because anyone would like to revisit their own skills, what is lacking in them. They want to be updated, they want to be upgraded. And so skilling, when it is a process of learning new skills, should be provided by our own employers. So it is the responsibility of our own respective employers, the institutions where we belong, the university, the institutes, and any other organization wherein we are connected. So that's upskilling. Upskilling as a process of learning, which should be provided to the workers. Who would provide? Of course, our own employers. When we speak about skilling, it also boils into the understanding of teaching employees, okay, new advanced skills to close talent gaps. It involves your team members in continuous education and helps them to advance along with the current career paths. So I mentioned a while ago that upskilling is a process that should be provided by our own employers. Now, this is for the purpose of not only upgrading our own employees. If we are, for example, the leaders, if I am the research leader, or I am the owner of the university, or president of the university, so what will I do is provide trainings for my own employees, because who will be benefited are the employees only, are the ones who will be benefited from the upskilling? Definitely not. So the purpose of upskilling is not only intended for the workers, but to the employer as a whole. Because if you help your employees, then they will pay back with services. They will upgrade. They will become more competitive in helping in carrying their jobs. So um employers then should be mindful, should be kind, should be generous enough to help their own employees, because I keep on repeating, it is not the employees that will be benefited from upskilling, but it is you, the employer, who will experience the things that could be that are products of upskilling your own employees. Thus, upskilling intends to teach employees new skills to optimize their performance. Of course, if you give them the opportunity, the more the employees will become more active, they will become more productive, they will further enhance or develop their own skills, they can show their own talents. And as they do it, of course, they are more motivated to work, to share the knowledge that they have. Thus, ladies and gentlemen, upskilling aims to create more specialized workers. Take note, create more specialized workers. The workers will become more equipped with the knowledge and skills that are needed in carrying or in performing their own job. This time, let's look at reskilling. Reskilling is a process of learning new skills, which is similar to that of upskilling. So, process of learning new skills. Nevertheless, the difference is that it is the individual who must have the urge to be updated. While you are being provided by your employer your employer with the necessary trainings or opportunities for you to upskill or upgrade yourselves, then you must have also the passion or the motivation to upgrade your own self. Okay, so in here, in the process of learning new skills, you can do a different job or of training people to do a different job. So, for example, if you have been trained, if you have already been upgraded with your own knowledge and skills in carrying out your job, then it is also your own duty to share what you have. You train the other members of the team because you are not working as an individual, but you work as a team. Reskilling means looking for people with adjacent skills that are close to the new skills your company or institution requires. It provides a lateral learning experience. And apart from that, reskilling, which is also known as a professional recycling. Take note of the term professional recycling, which means setting out to train employees to adapt to a different post within the company. Hence, reskilling aims to create more versatile workers. So, this is upskilling and reskilling. I repeat that in upskilling, it is the duty and responsibility of the employer to provide opportunities for the employees or the workers to become more skilled and more prepared, more versatile in their own specific jobs. Whereas in reskilling, it is the urge of the person, the individual, the worker, the person who is involved or who is connected in a particular institution or a company, that it is his duty also to upgrade himself. Do not just wait for your employer to give you an opportunity. If you cannot wait for that, and if you really wanted to upgrade yourselves, then find ways in order that you can become more capable in carrying out your jobs. Now, the question is, why do we need to upskill and reskill? What are the reasons? Ladies and gentlemen, I would I would present three reasons why there is a need for upskilling and reskilling. First is the impact of the COVID-19. We know it so well that with the emergence of the COVID-19 that had disrupted the world 2 years ago, until now, we are experiencing um, shortages in terms of our own, in terms of carrying our own job, because the manner of accomplishing our own task 2 years ago, when there was no pandemic or there was no COVID-19, is different from that of the present. Technology is what is needed at present. If you were not good in technology prior to COVID-19, then you should be mindful of yourselves in upgrading or reskilling, in reskilling your own selves. So even I myself, I admit that even if I use technology, but if I lack some exposure with other applications, then my work will be sacrificed. I will give you a typical example. Just a little while ago, I'm using technology. I've been speaking in many conferences and seminars, but the platform that I usually use is Zoom and Google Meet. this is my first time to utilize this StreamYard. So if I did not have any experience with this one, then I could not have something to share. Or after this one, of course, I have the passion to use it in my future events or activities because I have seen its benefit also. Otherwise, if I will confine with the usual things that I used to be, then there is no new knowledge that I can acquire. That is why I consider um, this experience as an opportunity to learn new ways on how to present or to interact with different scholars, academicians, research leaders, research mentors, and the like. So, with the emergency of COVID-19, we were motivated and we shifted our own interest from paperwork to the use of technology. And at the same time, we were motivated to learn more in order that we can grow. And with that, we can perform thoroughly our own tasks. And at the same time, we can share new knowledge and skills to our own team. For example, I myself, with this new discovery that I have today, I could also share it later on with the other members of my team. So that's one of the reasons why there is a need to reskill and upskill. So first is the impact of COVID-19. Second, the growing digital technologies and innovation. Take note, ladies and gentlemen, that technologies while there are many technologies that are being discovered, it also deteriorates over time. Okay. Because we keep on upgrading also technologies. For example, the computer that we are using right now might be the best. Okay. But after some months, we might have discovered again another new model. And then, of course, we need to be skilled in manipulating this kind of technology. So I will give one typical example: the use of a smart board, okay, or the use of smart TV. So before, it is very convenient, it is easy, but then they keep on upgrading, they keep on innovating, they keep on adding new value to this smart board. So it keeps on changing. The new feature, there are always new features. The old features that we used to before is different present. That is why we need to be upgraded our own knowledge about technology, because technologies, digital technologies keeps on growing. And we cannot avoid that because that is as we are passionate to be upgraded, the more so that these inventors are also passionate in discovering new technologies so that they can assist they can assist other individuals in making their work easily by using technology. Next is the skills shortages. Okay, this is necessary. um Many of us, okay, or many of the learners doesn't like to go into the technical vocational education. They always go to the arts and sciences, or it's not business and administration or management. So or science and technology, but they didn't like to go and earn technical vocational courses, which are actually needed at present. So at present, what we need now are skilled workers, okay? Because our era is different. 21st century needs skilled workers because that is what is being emphasized right now. And I would say that when we continuously reskilling and upskilling, we do not only imply or require a mastery of the fundamental subjects, but also 21st century interdisciplinary themes such as global awareness, financial, economic, business, and the like. I mentioned a while ago the 21st century interdisciplinary skills, or the otherwise known as the four C's in 21st century. Okay, first is the creativity and innovation. I mentioned a while ago that from time to time we keep on innovating things. We keep on adding value into a technology. That is why learners at present, managers, particularly in the field of research, they need to keep on innovating. They keep on making themselves more creative so that we can discover something that would benefit mankind. Secondly is on critical thinking and the ability to process at present. We do not only need an individual who is simply um, knowledgeable and knows how to understand things, but an individual, a leader, an employer, an employee, okay, who has the ability to process things, to use his or her own logical thinking or critical, analytical specs of thinking, so that in this way we can balance things, and we tend to become visionary also when things get rough. So, for example, with the things that is happening, and if you ponder on these observations by using your own analytical or critical thinking, then you can at least predict something that may likely occur in the future. So, what are you going to do? You need to do some preparation. So, by having this type of thinking, then we can become more prepared of what will likely happen in the future. So right now, with the COVID-19 that we have experienced, through our own critical thinking, we were able to come up with things as an answer to another pandemic that may likely occur in the future, because we don't like uh, anything, any turmoil that would happen without preparation at all. Please, with this experience, we learn from it, and we are preparing for it, so that we will become more resilient and we could become more sustainable in the future. Another thing is our own ability to communicate. Okay. Take note, ladies and gentlemen, that in every situation or in every culture, the manner of communicating to those individuals belonging to a different culture is different from us. That is why we should be culture sensitive. the expressions that we might usually use, which is we tend to believe that is just normal, might be offensive to others. That is why we need to be we need to have this intercultural awareness, particularly in dealing with others through the way we communicate with them. So with this, uh, with this thing, there is really a need to revisit the way we communicate to other individuals, because the things that we used to do doesn't work anymore this time. Okay, for example, if you are writing person, okay, and you are inviting for a special event, take note or be mindful with the words that you use in there, because we tend to say that it should be businesslike, it should be technical in nature, but there are some individuals now who are more convinced to attend or to accept such invitation to an event if you make use of a language which is creative or persuasive in nature. There are some individuals who are like that already this time. And this is really a must that we need to revisit the way we communicate, the way we think, the way we process things, and of course, the way also how we collaborate with others. Okay. You might have a research project, but the university requires international collaboration. That is already the trend. That the beauty of a research lies on international collaboration, which implies that this research has been written scholarly by a conglomeration or team of individuals who are working on the same interest. If not on the same interest, it might be some portion of that research is um, is aligned to the discipline of another, wherein it is where interdisciplinary research comes in. So in one research, it's not only one discipline who is writing or who is conducting that, because if we combine together the different aspects, it would become interdisciplinary. And if you involve other disciplines from other institutions, from other countries, then the result of that research would become more scholarly and more acceptable to the international academia. Okay, moving on. After exploring the reasons why there is a need to upskill and reskill, then let's look at the way, the ways on how we are going to upskill and reskill the research mentors and other employees. Okay, in here we are focusing on the research mentors, but generally I would like to include also the non-research mentors, but anyone who is working in research and development, or anyone who is passionate in upgrading himself or herself. Okay, so let's look at the researcher himself. Um, we mean to understand that a researcher is a person who carries out academic or scientific research in order to discover new information or reach a new understanding. Like in my own field, who is more on the study of scientific study of language, because I am a language teacher anyway, and my field is field is on linguistics. So a person who is inclined to study scientifically language is known as a linguist. And linguists study every aspect of language, including vocabulary, grammar, the sound of language, and how words evolve over time. So as a researcher of language, then it's nice to explore your horizon not only on the utilization of language inside the classroom, but you have to do it scientifically by going into the different aspects of it. Okay, like its sound, uh, its evolution over time, and other aspects of it. We are mentioning from time to time research mentor. A research mentor is a senior research administrator who serves as a role model and coach to an individual as a catalyst in a formal relationship at the home institution. Thus, a research mentor should create an environment that dissolves the limitations of history, expectation, and assumption, among others. Mentor. Okay. A mentor is anyone who has a beneficial life or style entering effect on another person. Whereas a mentee is anyone who wants to learn from someone who knows and seeks their valuable advice in order to grow professionally and or personally. So in here we can see the relationship between a mentor and a mentee, a research mentor and a research mentee. So for example, I as student in the university needs a mentor, a research mentor if I am writing for my own thesis, for example, because I need someone to guide me in order that I could contribute something that is valuable to the community of scholars. Thus, a mentor has become synonymous with trusted advisor. Okay, not only as an advisor, but motivated is as friend, teacher, and you are considered as a wise person. Actually, the term mentor could be attributed to the story of King Odysseus in the Iliad and Odyssey, which was written by Homer in Greek mythology, that there is this wise soldier by the name Odysseus that after the Trojan War, when they went back to their own country in Sparta, known as Greece, then they went wayward at the seas. So they uh, suffered from the curse of who is that god? Uh, the god of the sea, and they went wayward in there for 10 years. Okay, but anyway, as a great soldier, he was the one who lead and mentored, okay, his followers or the other soldiers in his team. Okay, now let's look at mentoring this time. Whereas a mentor is someone who shares his or her knowledge and skills and or experiences to help another to develop and grow. In mentoring, the duty of the mentor is to improve the mentee, to develop him, to train him, or to give the necessary trainings, to coach him, to motivate him, and to inspire the research mentee. Thus, a mentor is someone who sees more talent and ability within you than you see in yourself and helps bring out the best in you. That is a mentor. according to Bob Proctor. Now, um, to understand further how to mentor an individual and how to um, how to upskill and reskill a research mentor, let us try to look at the evolving role and function of a research mentor or a research advisor. Okay. Fact number one, believe it or not, that in the old school, um, the research mentor or advisor is chosen based on degrees and high position. That is, you must have a PhD or at least a master's degree holder. And you must have a designation in the university. Otherwise, if you don't have that, then you are not qualified to become a research guide or a thesis advisor or a research mentor. But in the new school, it became different because the basis of appointing a research mentor is based on publications and citations. Therefore, if you have the PhD, you individuals look up high to you. But now, nobody cares about your PhD if you do not have any publication or citation. What is more important at present is you must have published something, and you cannot call yourself as a professional, as a professor if you don't have something to profess. Are you going to profess? Of course, your researches. If you don't have that, then it's pointless to be called as a professor. And I said that in many universities at present, the basis of assigning a research mentor is no longer your educational attainment and your high position, rather your publications and citations. Because scholars, if they read your works published online, they tend to believe in you. They consider you as someone who has the credibility, who has the authority about something because you have written that. Whereas if you are just a PhD holder and then you are talking about a subject matter and you claim that I know about this one, I mastered this one, I'm the only person who is handling the subject, I know everything about this one. Well, those individuals who are intelligent enough would say, who cares? Do you have any publication? Do you have that publication? And not only that, even if you don't have publication, who believes in you? Okay? Your track record as a research mentor is based on publications and citations. That is the first fact. Now, we move on with the next. If before, in the old school, the research mentor implements thesis or the dissertation manual of the university or school, wherein they always consult their research manual. Okay, it mentioned in this page that the format should be like this and like this. So the interpretation of the data should be stated in this manner. This is the guideline. In referencing, this is how it is supposed to be done. Ladies and gentlemen, the new school or at present, we don't care about those research manual. We follow them, but what is important is we need to implement the standards of high impact publication. Okay? So while you are working on your own thesis, while you are guiding your research mentee, do not only implement the dissertation or thesis manual, but you need to look for your own prospective publisher. You need to search from the internet. I like to publish my work in this journal, and these are the guidelines or policies in publication. So as early as this time, I need to integrate now in the manuscript. Don't do that only when the time comes that you think, oh, I need to publish it now, and this is the guideline, so I need to revise everything. So as early as this time, you need to implement now the standards of high impact publication. Not only after the defense, and then you submit it to the publisher, and then you have to revise many things. Okay? Next. Fact number 3. In the old school, the research mentor guides students to finish a degree because we believe that the success of the students or the research mentee is also the success of the research mentor. The failure of the research mentee reflects the failure of the research mentor. But at present, the research mentor guides students to publish in peer-reviewed journals. Okay? Because that is the true measure of a successful research mentor. And so what if this student had graduated? And so what if he had finished his bachelor's degree through your guidance, his master's degree through your own advisorship, through PhD? They don't care about that. But they will call you as a successful research mentor if you are able to guide your students, and the result of it is the ability to publish in peer-reviewed journals. So this is the true measure of success of being a research mentor, not an earning a degree. It is just secondary at this present. Fact number 4. All right. Admit it or not, but then this is the reality. I'm sure that before, it is the research mentor who assign or give the title of the research. Why? Because there is this what we call personal interest of the research mentor. The research mentor wants to gain more citations of his work. So what shall the research mentor do? In order that he could gain more citations, then, okay, I would like to work on this one. Okay, this is the title of your own thesis. So work on this one like this, like that. Okay, and then the research mentee will simply accept, because if he will not do that, then he will not graduate. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there is this what we call shift of this rule and function of a research mentor, which is assigning or giving the title of the research. Present, the research mentor requires the students to complete the literature review as a basis in establishing the research gap. So, if you are the research mentor, then it's not fair to give the title of research of your own research mentee. Rather, okay, motivate him to read. Okay, read literature related to this variable. Okay, I would refer you to this website. You read the work of this researcher, or I have a book in here. Read this book, and then you prepare the literature review. You need to complete that, and after accomplishing this task, then let us publish the literature review. Okay, take note that at this time, before you can publish your own, it is also a trend now that you can also publish your own literature review. Okay, there are already journals wherein they will publish the literature review first prior to the full manuscript, wherein it includes the almost parts of the research. Okay. Some universities at present even require that before you can proceed with your own thesis defense, you should have publish your own literature review in a peer-reviewed journals. Okay. Next, fact number 5. For the research mentor edits the submitted manuscript in the hard copy. Okay, so it would be very costly on the part of the research mentee because after checking or editing, then he needs to incorporate those corrections in his computer and then print it again and give it again to the research mentor to recheck whether those recommendations that he or she had suggested in the paper were incorporated or not. So, at present, we need to be kind and generous to our own research mentee instead of requiring them to print their manuscript or to submit version or hard copy of their own manuscript. Why don't you edit it using the tracking comments of Microsoft? And in that way, you could also be upgraded or raise skills in using the different features of the computer. Okay, in using the Microsoft Word, you can, as it is illustrated in here, you can just click on the the portion in there which is review, and then click the comment, and then encode your own suggestions or recommendations, or simply insert the words that are need to be changed because of poor grammatical construction or um, other aspects of the other aspects of the syntax and lexical usage that the researcher or research mentee had made use in there. Okay, so moving on, fact number 6: the research mentor relies solely on a statistician in order to interpret the data. Okay, he or she needs to wait for the result which was processed by the statistician, and if there is this what we call confusion, then he needs to consult again the statistician. Well, it's not bad to make consultation with an expert, but in reskilling and upskilling, I would advise or suggest the research mentor at present train our students or research mentee to process data by themselves instead of simply being dependent with the statistician. There are a lot of trainings on how to treat data with different software. Okay, like for example, the SPSS. Even if you are not a statistician, you can process it by gaining a training. So you must be uh, you yourself should submit yourself to this kind of activities wherein you are not only being benefited if you attend a training like this, but also your own research mentee. Let's proceed with fact number 7. In the old school, the research mentor corrects grammar and mechanics, okay, the grammatical construction, punctuation marks. But during this time, so the use of technology, our work became easier and faster by simply processing the manuscript using the Grammarly software. Then we could see in there the result of the paragraphs, the sentences wherein there is a grammatical problem or there is an error in the use of mechanics or punctuation marks. Sometimes, if this software can also detect can also detect can also detect how many percent has been plagiarized and how many percent is original. And these portions which has been plagiarized will give you the links where this can be found. So by using this Grammarly software, then your duty as a research mentor in correcting the grammar and mechanics of the manuscript becomes easier and manageable. So you just simply insert the manuscript from the Grammarly software, and then it will be processed, and it will give recommendations on how to improve the manuscript. Next, fact number 8. In the old school, the research mentor reads only what is submitted. Okay, so this is the manuscript, and then I will only be contented with what you have written in here. Anyway, you have incorporated or suggested all the things that I have mentioned in the hard copy. My dear friends present, the research mentee don't do that. He or she is not only contented with the things that has been submitted by the research mentee, but rather he reads the literature and suggests additional readings. Okay. In this way, you can improve the works, and in that way also it makes the research more scholarly in output. Fact number 9. In the old school, the research mentor always suspects the plagiarized portions of the manuscript because we know our students how they perform. You tend to believe that I don't think you have done this one. I know how you're right. How come that this is as perfect as and I do know your own capability. You are my student, and you really have this suspicion. Sometimes not only plagiarize, but you tend to suspect also that the research has been written by a ghost writer. It was written by someone. All right. In order to avoid these suspicions, then you as a research mentor should utilize a software to check plagiarism. One of which is the Turnitin. Okay, by processing the paper in the Turnitin, then it will give you the report of which one is plagiarized, how many percents are original, and then how many percent also were plagiarized or copied from other words. Right? So, ladies and gentlemen, I repeat, in order that you avoid suspicions from your research mentee, you have to make use of the plagiarism software. If you are using Lazada, there are packages in there. I think it's just affordable. It's affordable. It's cheap. That is why you look for www.lazada.com Pakistan. There might be a subscription in there. You can subscribe it, and it's really affordable. Okay. Fact number 10. The research mentor serves as sole expert guide. Right? Nevertheless, a research mentor at present does not only believe in his own ability as an expert, but also consult other experts who are local and international. This is where international collaboration or professional networking comes in. For example, if you know someone in another academe from other countries, and you think he is an asset, or you believe that he can contribute something for the improvement of the methodology of your of the research of your own research mentee, then you seek for an advice or for a guide from this mentor. Or if not, you ask him to peer review the work so that you can further enhance the manuscript prior to the final defense. So thus a good research mentor at present involves other experts. He consults other individuals that are really knowledgeable, not only on that particular discipline, but in terms of the use of methodology, okay? Or the utilization of the theory, which was actually a result of foregrounding or grounded theory that you have utilized as an approach in your own study. Next, this is the second to the last, I think. Fact number 11. In the old school, the research mentor requires completion as manuscript as basis or measure of quality. However, at present, a research mentor requires newness of discovery from the results derived. As a researcher, you do not simply undertake a research without contributing a new knowledge to the discipline. You do research because you wanted to create a name. You wanted to share something new. You want to discover new knowledge which could be beneficial to other members of your own discipline. Otherwise, if there is no new knowledge that has been generated from your research, then it would be pointless. And it is not enough that you discovered something new from your research, but rather you must be able to translate this discovery into actions. Okay. All right. So since this is the result, then how are you going to make it practically so that others could utilize it? This is where research utilization comes in. I think the research mentor in the old school requires students to do all the jobs. Okay, that is why our research mentee would agonize in accomplishing the research because he needs to read a lot, he needs to do interpretation and so on and so forth. Whereas present, the research mentor and research mentee should sit down together and co-author with the work so that they can publish into a high impact journal. Okay. All right. So with this evolving role and function of the research mentor, then how are we going to diagnose the instructional inadequacies that cause inadequate research? Okay. First and foremost is we need to find foreign and local experts to support research mentees. I mentioned that a while ago that the research mentor should not only believe in himself that he is the only author or the only expert of the field, but rather he needs to consult other experts in his own community and abroad or other countries. So foreign and local experts. So you need to have a list of these stakeholders of the study. And if you have these stakeholders who are implementers, partners, and beneficiaries, you need to involve them also in your own research. Do not simply ask them out something, but rather in the formulation of your own instrument also. Do not tend to be jack of all trades. Why don't you ask your stakeholders to read or review the instrument? Let them read and then ask them, is there something that you can add in this instrument, or is the instrument appropriate? All right. If they can add something, you can incorporate. And then, of course, you need to acknowledge them. And later on, you need to ask them also. You need to show them the result or the findings of your study and ask them, involve them in formulating the recommendations. So it is not just a one way crafting of a research, but rather involving other individuals who are experts, and at the same time, other stakeholders. All right. So by finding foreign counterpart agencies in our local of our local stakeholders from the web. Okay, so you need to partner also with other institutions apart from individual experts. Next, so in here you need to checking your reference list. You need to copy and search in the web. This is to tell you the trend this time. There are some publishers that does not accept references that are not published. They only recommend references that were published online. They maintain or they observe technology-based quality assurance. That is why they recommend that only those works or researchers which has been published online should be included in your own reference list. And then, of course, foreign and local experts who are helpful will be given appointments, for example, later on, as you are requiring them to be a part of your own research journey. Later on, you can recommend them to become editor or peer reviewer of your own university journal as a sign of courtesy to them. There are arsenal skills of a research mentor. There are 4 of them. So we have the peer reviewing skills, okay, editorial skills, referencing skills, and instrumentation skills. Okay, so I will not go into this arsenal skills into detail because I believe they are all self-explanatory. Apart from these arsenal skills, then what are you going to do in order to upskill and reskill yourselves? Okay, as a research mentor, you need to be get trained for the en vivo software for our qualitative research and AMOS software for modeling research. So the AMOS software is being utilized by those in the field of engineering, mathematics, because they're going to create models. Whereas en vivo, this is for qualitative research because you need to interpret transcripts. Okay, and as a research mentor also, you need to be get trained for basic and advanced sampling the science, wherein I mentioned already a while ago. Then get trained also for critical review of scientific literature and how to write a research review article. There are many seminar workshops regarding writing the literature review. If you are a research mentor, then attend to these trainings so that you can upgrade yourselves. Get trained also for hypothesis-driven research and hypothesis testing. As a research mentor, do not only consult the statistician. Okay, could you please test this hypothesis? Blah 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 blah. Okay, why don't you do it yourself? How to do that? Before you can start, of course, you need to attend trainings, seminars, or conferences regarding hypothesis testing. Get trained also for constructing rubrics as placement to Likert scale. Before, we make use of of the lighter scale, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wherein 5 is strongly agree, and then 4 is agree, 3 is neutral, 2 is disagree, and then 1 is strongly disagree. Okay. In the old school, they do that. But at present, we make use of rubrics. So let's see number 5. What are the characteristics of these particular aspects in order that you are going to rate it as 5? How about 4? You need to define it. You need to characterize it. You need to quantify it in order that it will be more meaningful. Okay? Skills in getting foreign experts as research partners or co-authors, panelists, reviewers, and editors. You need to collaborate with other professionals from other countries or other institutions. Okay, like what we are doing right now. After this webinar, then if you know someone in there, try to communicate, okay? Because he or she might help you in the future, okay? Next is uh, you need to be trained on how to write a research for high impact journals, okay? And then how to publish articles and to be cited from your works. All right. So you need to you need to attend a lot of trainings pertaining to this one. It is only in this way wherein you can be upgraded. Right? So, ladies and gentlemen, I would finally end my presentation by saying that what one learns in the first 25 years of life will not carry them through the next 50 years of your professional career, which is really true. Like now, in this year 2022, things that are relevant will no longer be the same in the coming years. In the year 2023, innovation would come in again. They have created something new. And so you will have to be able to continuously learn, to keep on re-skilling yourselves and have the opportunity to participate in the upskilling that is being provided by our own employers. So, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that I have substantiated well the topic on reskilling and upskilling research mentor in the global context. Thank you very much. And I would appreciate any rejoinder, comments, or suggestions that you may share from my presentation.
Yes, thank you very much, Doctor. It was so nice and so great to see your presentation, which was really interesting, and I learned a lot from your this presentation. It was so great, and I really enjoyed the way you started it from the research. That I loved the research, which was so nice, so great, and then very nicely you have mentioned the definition of the upskilling, reskilling, and then very wonderful, in a wonderful way you have mentioned the reasons for the upskills and reskills, which was very, I would say, relevant to the situation right from the COVID-19 to the rest of the technological advancement. And I loved your the way you mentioned that what is researcher, the mentors, research mentors, and then the facts was so nice, so many wonderful facts you have gathered. It was so full of knowledge, and I would appreciate, and I really I would say that it was a great presentation and wonderful explanation which you have given to the our audience. It was so enlightenment session. Thank you very much for such a great and wonderful suggestions. I would further say that yes, indeed, through your this slides, the audience would have learned a lot from your this session, which was the great session. And I really appreciate the way you delivered it, because I could see that you were explaining each and everything from your heart, which was so nice, so great. And that is why you are the global educationist, that you know how to deliver your message and how to convey your message in a wonderful way. So great, so nice. Congratulations for doing a wonderful job. You have explained in a wonderful way. It was so great to see you. Should we start with the first question, sir? Yes, sir. Should we start with the first question, please? Sir, should we start with the first question, please? Yes, sir. Can you hear me? Yes, sir. Can you hear me? Sir, can you hear my voice, please? Yes, sir. Can you hear my voice, please?
Sir, was
I think there is some internet connection problem. Uh, I think the Dr. Rommel Tabula cannot hear my voice properly. Let me just see. Let us see our connection.
I think you
Can you hear
I
my
think
voice?
encode in the messenger, sir. The question.
Uh, Sir, can you hear our voice, please? Yes, sir. Dr. Ramal Tabula has explained in a wonderful way, but now I believe there is a certain internet connection issue that he cannot listen to our voice, which is actually the problem. Let us connect again with him so that we can ask few questions which are very important in terms of that we get his insight on that. So let's see. Dear sir, can you listen my voice, please? Yes, sir. Can you hear my voice, please?
Hello, sir. I got you already. Wasn't able to hear a while ago.
Okay, thank you very much. So let us start with the first question, please. Okay, the first question is, how can employers promote upskilling to employees? Because it is very difficult to agree the top management regarding the upskilling of employees, because there is a huge investment in terms of from the employers. So what are the different ways to promote it through the employers that how can we pursue our employers for conducting the upskilling sessions for the employees. What do you suggest for that, please?
Honestly, sir, I didn't get you well because the
Yes, I think the
your audio
internet
is not clear. I don't know if I'm the one who has the problem of the internet connection. Could you please repeat the question, sir?
Yes, there are two questions, sir. The first part of the question is how can employers promote upskilling to employees, which is from the employer perspective that how to pursue employees regarding to gain the training session for upskillings. And the second question is how can employee they pursue their employers to have the upskilling sessions? Yes, please.
Uh, Correct me if I am right the way I understood the question. How are we going to employ upskilling? Am I right, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please carry on.
Okay. How are we going to employ upskilling? First and foremost, you need to consider the need of the company, the need of the institution. Okay. You must have an environmental scanning. You need to look into the totality or exactitude of your company or institution or your university. Is there something to improve or are you performing well? If you are performing well, are you contented with this one? Okay. And after having this need analysis, then the next step is that you need to select individuals who are your arms in the realization of this need. Okay, so you need to select persons that you are going to train, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that if you want, if your company, institution, or university need this aspect, it does not necessarily mean that everybody should be involved in the upskilling. Why? Because in upskilling, it is also costly. You need to have budget. That is why select only individuals that are capable and whom you think will be the individuals who could also share. This is what we call reverberating or re-echoing of the trainings that they have acquired from other, and then they have to bring it to the company or the institution or university. The knowledge that they have acquired could be re-echoed, and in that way, others will also be graded. So, as an administrator, as a mentor, you need to select individuals that you can trust to be able to retain also those individuals who were not included in the upskilling that is being provided by the university. For example, I myself, if I were if I were recommended by my employer to attend training, and in the training, after attending it, I need to make a report to the university where I belong, and then I would propose an activity wherein I could share the knowledge that I have, the new knowledge or skills that I have acquired, in order that in my team, everybody will be upgraded also. The only difference is that the the individuals who upskilled or trained me is different because I am reverberating or I am re-echoing the knowledge and skills that I have acquired to other members of the institution. So this is the thing that an employer or a leader should look into if he or he has to upskill and reskill the individuals that are involved in that particular company. So it does not necessarily mean that you send all individuals for a training. You select only those individuals that are capable of bringing the new knowledge, ideas, innovations, and skills to the company, and in that way, others could also be upskilled. All right. So,
Yes, sir. Very nice, very nice.
yes. Yes,
Definitely
sir.
wonderful. Yeah, wonderful answer to this wonderful question, and very appreciative. Thank you very much for such a elaborative answer. Another question we have is sir, please guide us. The role of the COVID-19 has shaped our skills and reskills. So, don't you think now the world is more competitive as compared to the previous one? Yes, your opinion on that, please.
All right. Um, in in reality, individuals at present now are more skilled compared to that of the previous. Before the pandemic, our knowledge and skills are limited to the present condition of our society. We were not able to foresee what will happen in the future. That is why at present we were able to we were able to acquire new knowledge and skills as a result of uh, the emergence of the COVID-19. Um, the, the individuals at present are now more prepared and are more skilled because the skills that we have before has been increased. We added value into these skills. While they are still relevant at present, then we revitalize. The term is we revitalize these skills so that we can cope with the needs of the present scenario of the world. Okay, that perhaps before only a few were really skilled enough for the coming. Um, there might have been individuals who are skilled enough for this present scenario of uh, of the world, which is the 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 emergence or the existence of the COVID-19. But not all were given that necessary skills. So what we have right now is we enhance other individuals in order that they can perform better their tasks, and at the same time they can help not only their own respective institutions but the whole humanity. Because after all, if our company provided us an opportunity to be upskilled and we responded it wholeheartedly and diligently, because our aim is really to skill our own selves, then as a result of that, we can do our own task more meaningful and at the same time, we can also make our we can make every opportunity a productive one, and we can keep on, or we are always craving on for being upgraded, because uh, as this pandemic had brought out, we always be prepared from time to time. We should not only what happened is that we did not only limit our own selves with the trainings that we have acquired after the pandemic uh, had struck the world, but rather even up to this present, we keep on um, reskilling our own selves. Um, we keep on involving on the on every opportunity that being offered to us, because it is only in this way that we can help other individuals in the whole world. So in this manner, I would say that individuals right now are more competitive compared to that of the previous. Well, in fact, it's true that we have already been competitive before, but we become more competitive at present because there are added skills that we have acquired due to the pandemic.
Yes. Thank you very much once again for such an elaborative answer. And one last question. We want to listen your opinion regarding the role of the leadership. That what is the role of leadership in upskill and reskill? What is your opinion on that? How important are the leadership role for the upskilling and reskilling? Your opinion on that, please.
The role of the leader in upskilling and reskilling um, is he himself as a visionary who is able to foresee what will happen in the future. And as a visionary leader, you should be someone who should always uh, be prepared. And if you are prepared, then include also other members in your own organization to be prepared also. Do not wait for the time wherein another turmoil, another peril will attack us. Rather, always always being vigilant of things that may likely occur. And in that way, if you are vigilant and visionary and always being prepared, then there is always this quality in you which is being optimistic, that everything has a solution if only we provide individuals the opportunity to be upskilled, and at the same time, as a leader, um, we should always keep on assessing our own environments or our own organization. We should always bear in mind that what happened last year, did we accomplish what is did we accomplish the aims and the goals that we have set forth? So you keep on revisiting the past in order that you can make necessary preparations for the future, and that you can also improve and uh, and by doing so, you can also we can attain this total quality, or yeah, we can uh, we can always attain this total quality in terms of leadership and management. I think, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much once again for such a wonderful answer, and was really great to listen to your wonderful opinion on that. I really appreciate the way you answered, wonderful explanation and powerful content which you shared with our audience was so great. Really superb presentation and superb explanation. I really enjoyed this session all the way from the start to the end, and I enjoyed your answers, which were very particular and which was very wonderful in a way that it enlightened our audience regarding the upskills and reskills, all the way that you started from I love the research to the reasons of the upskills and reskills, the definition of the upskills, reskills, and all the way the facts were so great. You have gathered a lot of knowledge and information regarding all these things, which was so great. In the last, we ask each our guests that what is your message to the world as a teacher, researcher, trainer, learner, professional, and educator? So, what is your message to the world, please?
I only have one message to the world. As I have mentioned in my final note, that we keep on learning, because learning is a continuous process of which it will lead us into a brighter future, being by always uh, by continuously upgrading your own selves, then you can have a better understanding of the nature of human beings and the phenomenon or situations that are happening in the in our environment from time to time. So in upskilling and reskilling, there is really a need to continuously upgrade ourselves, because the relevance of the knowledge and skills that we have at present might no longer be appropriate in the coming years. So, ladies and gentlemen, um, we do we must love being educated. We must love learning from others. We must love upgrading our own selves. And if we are a leader, we should always be vigilant, and we should always provide our um, our subordinates the opportunity to grow and learn, because after all, these opportunities that are providing them, the main beneficiary is you as the leader and the institution or the company that you are leading. Thank you so much.
Wow. Once again, wonderful message to the world. It was indeed a great presentation and a great learning session for all. So, at the end, I would say that upskilling and reskilling research mentors in the global context, our dear doctor has explained in a wonderful way. If you have any further question or any suggestions from the regarding this topic, you can contact the our respected guest. He's always there and he's always helpful for the people, and you can email him for future learning and guidance. He is very generous and always ready to help the people. Moreover, powerful explanation and wonderful content which the great speaker has already elaborated will help you to learn and develop your understanding regarding the upskilling and reskilling. So that is all we have time for today. Thank you once again, Dr. Rommel Tabula. And also, I would like to thank our audience who joined us. If you have any additional question about information shared today, please email to us or connect to the speaker directly through his email or social media account. Thank you all for your support and liking our session. Stay tuned as many sessions are on the way. Please do not miss any session. Until next session, take care of yourself. Bye bye.